go over on this carb here. You're going to disassemble it, throw it in a dip tank, inspect everything on it, pay particular attention to the intermediate jet, pull the main jet and emulsion tube out, and pull out your needle jet right there, which is what this needle sits down in. It goes in one way. One way it's beveled, and the other side sharp. The sharp end goes in up, beveled side down, so the emulsion tube sits on the beveled side. Pull your air fuse. You'll measure your air fuel screw. You're just gonna, wherever it's sitting at, if you don't have this one, it's already had plug pulled out. If it's just an aluminum plug, if you just drill through the plug and use a screw in, pop it out. Be careful how far you drill down, because it'll eat right through that brass air fuel screw. Then just turn it in and count how many turns it in until it lightly seats. Some of them will be half a turn, quarter turn. I've had them before where some of them are zero. They're like no turns out. We're going to start off lightly seat it and then turn it back out 3 turns. That's our starting point. And then once you put it on and get it running, you're going to let it get hot, and then you're going to do an idle drop, which is turn the air fuel screw in until it starts running bad, turn it back out to that position where you had it, and then go the other way. What you're looking for is the smoothest idle there. If you notice when you're turning it, it starts to stumble a little bit, turn it back out until idle will rise up. And then wherever the idle's set at, you'll have to adjust your idle screw over here. Just turn it back down and set your idle. Should be right at 1,000 RPM by a gauge. If you got a handheld gauge, you just clip around the front spark plug. That's great if you don't have a tack. You want to keep it high enough that you have oil pressure. You run it too low and your oil pressure is going to go down. Besides that, it hammers the hell out of the damn connecting rods the lower it is. It makes a difference. You're going to want to make sure that your accelerator pump is squirting fuel out. If it's not, you need to clean it, pull the nozzle out, soak it in carb cleaner for overnight or however long it takes until you can pump the fuel through it. You'll see fuel shooting out of this tube here. And this tube, if you have to take it out, you can take it out. You just hold the float in your hand, take a pair of pliers and kind of work it back and forth, and then pull on it at the same time. It'll pop right out. If you put it back in where the nozzle is spraying, you want the spray right on the center of the needle here, so it kind of splits it in two. Be careful putting your top on there. You don't want to rip your diaphragm in there, just like you don't want to rip your girlfriend's diaphragm. And her little personal device there. Jet wise, for most of these things, this is on a 2001 Sportster. Almost all CV carbs you're going to end up running a 45 intermediate jet. It'll come with either a 40, a 42, or a 45. Older ones are 45, and then they switched to 42 somewhere in the 90s. One year they had 40s in them. I think that was 92 maybe. And the bikes ran like absolute ass. It came in every bike, and you'd ride the bike for 40 minutes and it still wouldn't warm up. just too lean. 45 is a good starting point. If you want to shim the needle in here, if you got a little stumble in the mid-range there, sometimes you can use 2. That's like your homemade jet kit. 45 on the intermediate. Main jet, just had a 185, stock 185 in there. That's a good starting point. Drag pipes on there and air cleaners. Kind of sort of homemade air high flow, but that's a good starting point. 180, 185 is about as far as you'll need to go. That's about it. Your slide here, it'll only go in one way. If you try and put it in this way and don't go in, just flip it around, it goes the other way. Fairly simple to figure out. On earlier carbs, this elbow right here is plastic. If it has any cracks in it at all, replace it. To replace it, all you got to do, this thing's just swedge fit in there. Grab it with pliers, work it back and forth while you pull on it. A pair of vice grips works good. And pop it out of there. You'll probably break the plastic all the way off. Don't freak out. Just clamp onto it, turn it till it comes out. And then the new one, you don't need to tap it. Don't need to put nothing on it. You just stick it in there and tap it in there with a brass hammer. Goes right in. You probably want to replace your fuel lines. I'm replacing them on this thing because they're 20 years old. They still look good, but 20 years old is 20 years old. I'll put a 5/16 fuel line back on there instead of the 1/4 inch. Really, that's about it for carb setup. And I'll tell you what, just doing it this way right here, that's a hell of a lot better because I had a 40-minute video that for whatever reason got corrupted somehow, but it didn't come out. Hopefully this one turns out. And that's about it for the carburetor. This right here on your enrichener cable, when you tighten it up, you just kind of want to make it snug with the nut here. So don't go cranking on it. Because that thing's body here is plastic and you'll snap the plastic right off of it. Now once it's on there, if you need to set up the, it'll want to automatically pull back in because of the spring. This outer portion here, once you got it on there, you can turn this to set the tension. If it pulls really hard, loosen it. If it won't stay out, tighten it up a little bit. Do not ever put any kind of lube on the enrichener cable. It depends on friction to stay out. You put lube in there, you ain't got no friction. It's just gonna pop back in like that. See? You don't want that. You want it to stay out. And really, that's about it for this one. Getting ready to slap this big thing back on there. And since we already drained the gas tank, it wouldn't be a bad idea to pull the petcock out and clean the strainer on it, or at least look at it, blow the tank out. If it's really nasty in there, you can dump some lacquer thinner inside the tank, slosh it around a little bit, and then pull the cap back off and pull the petcock out and blow it out really good with air, drain it out. If it's been sitting a really long time and it comes out greenish looking, lacquer thinner, do it a couple more times. And just blow it out with compressed air. All right, that's it for this one. Trying to make it a little shorter. I want to make the 30-minute videos. People only watch a couple minutes of them. But that's neither here nor there. All right. If you like my videos, like, share, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Appreciate it.